What's up, everybody? Your boy Siphon from Siphon T C G, and I'm coming at you with my Week 2 ProQuest tier list. These are going to be reactions from Week 1 going into Week 2, and how I do think it will shape up. If you check out my last video, it'll be a reaction to ProQuest Week 1, and a lot of this will inform what we are coming to for Week 2. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's not hold up. So first of all, obviously we can't play Chain. Chain is Living Legend. And Prism's Living Legend. For some reason, Starvo's with Arachne. I don't know if they're trying to say Arachne's the new Starvo, but actually we'll break down the tills real quick, because in my last video, it did seem that the tiers were incorrect, and a lot of times when I talk about tiers with people, they don't understand what exactly I mean when I say certain tiers. So I made this very, very easy to understand. So we have our S tier. These are our winner winning chicken dinners. These are the decks that you can go walk into and be like, yep, that could win, that deck could easily win, that deck could easily win. Like, it is almost an surety that it will get wins. Top 8. The deck's good enough to consistently top 8. Maybe doesn't have enough to convert to a win, but you'll definitely see it in the higher tier tables. One tricks, these are ones that realistically just depends on the pilot. You're only going to be seeing people that have been playing like only this hero for like the longest time, and I don't really think just putting in a tier is very fair. We have your decks that are gambles. Like, could the deck do well? Sure. Could the deck not do well? Who knows? It kind of also depends more on the pilot, but I think the variance, that it depends on the pilot a little bit, is less, and it more just depends on the meta. Is the meta prepared to handle this hero? That's why it's a gamble. We have side event gang. If you're going to an event and you bring this hero, make sure that you at least sign up for the Blitz Win a Box tournament, because you're going to want to make sure you get your spot, even though you're going to be the first one on there. Then obviously we have our Living Legends. So let's start with the obvious one, Levia, side event gang. I just don't think Levia's good. I think the only thing Levia had going for her before Dynasty was her card pull was just better than Reinhardt's. And then Reinhardt literally got her card pull. So now I don't see the value of Levia. I don't know what she can do. Because here's the thing. All she has is damage. And yes, that is how you win, but you do need some form of utility. You need to be able to do something to actually regain tempo. Levia's like, aha, you know how I get tempo? I kill you. And then the opponent's like, no. Block out, make you block out, you're dead. Levia is literally, could actually be one of the best heroes if Blood Debt didn't exist, because she has high amounts of damage. She is very, very consistent. But she has the drawback at Blood Debt. If she gets disrupted one turn with a significant amount of cards in Blood Debt, either she is going to die or take significant damage that was going to force her to block. And here's the thing, if she's taking damage from Blood Debt, that means she probably also didn't do something on her turn. So that means you get to come again and just hit her again. It is this snowball effect in the worst way possible, but is it going against you? I see no value for Levia right now, unless your name is Mansan. Even then, I don't even think Mansan's playing Levia, so sorry Levia gang, this ain't your time. Start with Arachne. I do want to start with Arachne. Currently, right now, I think it's a gamble. I do think that Arachne does have some value. I know one of my teammates brought Arachne and went 10-6, or no, 10-4. I'm sorry. No, hold on. I'm trying to think how many ProQuests he did. No, I'm sorry. He went a total of 6-4. I was adding like a whole nother ProQuest that he didn't intend to. We went 6-4 with Arachne over the weekend, and most of his wins were super like close. But some of his losses were like not close. So, and I think that is just the style of Arachne. I don't think it can just blow away any deck, and I do think it has a lot of really bad matchups. Matchups like Odom is just bad. Dromai, for the most part, is just bad. And there's kind of nothing you can do about that unless you alter your deck in a way that makes your other matchups significantly worse. And I think this is one of the struggles Arachne does have. But with that being said, Arachne does have some very good matchups. My teammate was able to beat Fi, was able to beat Dash, I believe, which on the surface level you would say is a very easy matchup, but they come with a lot of damage. So now it matters on your build. This is why it's a gamble. There's a lot of things going into it. Me personally, if you guys have seen the video, I'm on a very Tree Frog-esque version where I have a lot of D-Rex, a lot of life gain, and I'm just running a bunch of 0-for-1s, 1-for-4s. And that's how I'm getting down to try to beat some of these mid-range and control matchups, but I lose significantly to the aggro matchups. The way he has his build, he has much better time into the aggro matchups. Your build matters a lot. The metagame around you matters a lot, and I think that's why Arachne is a gamble. But I would like to see more people play Arachne and kind of explore the archetype and see maybe what can all be there. Azalea, I would have put this into one tricks. I would have. And I actually still might leave it there. But the one issue with Azalea is this Azalea bounty, man. It has sprung up so many Azalea players out of nowhere, and they are actually having some success. I know in one of the pro quests I went to, Azalea was the second most represented hero, which is like weird. And there were two of them hanging out right at the top tables up until the last round. And like, it's scary. Like, you never know, man. With Azalea, she is so hot and cold. She could just kill you, and you could never have played the game. She could never deal damage to you, and you just clap her in a couple turns. It is probably one of the most polarizing decks in the format, because a lot of people still think she is just egregiously horrible. But some people's like, including me, think there might be something onto her. There might be something there. Like, I thought Sandscar Great Bro was bad, but most of the Azaleas that were doing good were using Sandscar. So maybe we gotta go to Sandscar, and we have to really just, you know, look at the build, look at the play patterns that we're doing, what can be done to finally get over the hump. Currently, I don't know what that is, but I'm excited to see the development of Azalea. I actually am going to put her in one tricks just because I think this Azalea ability is going to produce a lot of one tricks, and these will be free wins for you, but do look out for the Azalea. Next is Viscerai. I think, so my heart really wants to put him in top 8. Top 8 easy peasy. I think the split damage of Viscerai things, I think we just forgot how good Viscerai is. Just because other decks have popped up. But I think with decks like Icelander being able to disrupt, Lexi being able to disrupt, Fi just being faster, has maybe ruined Viscerai's credibility to some point, and a lot of people are moving away from Viscerai. I still think Viscerai's good. Unfortunately, he only had 2 wins. Which is why, and not a lot of top 8s, which is why I don't think I can actually put him as high as I would like. Right now, I'm going to put him in the gamble spot. It literally seems every time I make a video my headphone dies. I've literally had my headphone charging for an hour, and it died within 5 minutes. Great stuff for not doing another take. But yeah, I think Viscerai is currently powerful. We just don't have the data to prove it, which I can't really put it above a gamble, because it does not seem like you are doing a lot of conversions with Viscerai, let alone winning. But I do think the right Viscerai can produce results. We have Bravo. I think I need to give Bravo the respect it deserves, to an extent. I still do think he is outclassed by Odom, but in my last tier list I put him in A, which the equivalently would be like probably here. I don't think that's the case. I definitely think with this tier list, I think you can consistently get top 8s with Bravo. I think if you see like 10 Bravos in a room, I think at least one will convert to top 8, or at least be like an N1 and N. I think the deck is fundamentally powerful enough to do that, and it is a very linear deck, which is very good. It is a deck that once I would say you get 50 reps, you should be doing okay. You should kind of understand the majority of your lines and how to play your matchups. Now, all the games after that is just a little bit of sequencing and just how much damage you're willing to take to throw something back, and just sideboarding knowledge. But again, I think that the fundamental power level of Bravo is fairly high. Briar. Unfortunately, I have to put Briar there too. I do think like it's a slight bit more powerful, so if I was to do it like this, I would just do that like that as well. I think Briar's just on the cusp of being winner in chicken dinner, but unfortunately the results don't say that. The results say it's just a step below the big three that I'm going to call it. And that's unfortunate. I think Briar is the best deck in the format, and I've thought that for a while. But at no point in the recent times has that been proven. You know, has been proven? Icelander, Fi, Odom, very, very consistent heroes. I think just the downside that Briar has, it's very hot and cold nature. We've all seen that game where Briar goes channel mount a heroic turn 1 and you just go, yep. And then he just keeps down around for 2 turns, and then they play another one, and then just absolutely kill you, and there was nothing you could have ever done about it. But we've all seen the Briar that goes pass, and then they just show you 4 non-attacks, and then a non-attack on their arsenal, and it's just like, well, I guess this game's over then. But I still do think people should definitely be playing Briar, and I think if you do play Briar, you have a good chance of getting top 8. Now, converting to a win, a little bit less so, just because, again, very hot code nature. But Briar is in a good spot. Dash, unfortunately, I do have to bring down a little bit. I think at the start of this event, I did have Dash up here, and it does have the representation, but it's just not converting to wins like I thought it would be. That's the big thing. It's not converting to wins. It's converting to top 8. It's fairly easy, but we just need to get over the hump, and I think the big issue does have is just that it is a glass cannon. Not that it is trying to kill you one shot. It is very fragile. If you're a hero that's good at blocking, Dash will have a hard time killing you. If you're a deck like an Arachne that says, oh, you're taking cards off your deck for me? Dude, thank God. I thought I had to do all the work myself. You're going to struggle. But if you're against another aggro deck that doesn't want to block like a Fi, you're going to be like, cool, let's race. And I think a lot of times, Dash will just win the race. Dash can consistently have like up to 20 damage turns. Fairly easier. And the thing, the mid-range build is not too far off. You can have just more consistent like 10 to 15 damage turns with Dash. And the one good thing is a lot of Dash's cards do block 3, so if you so choose to block, you're in a good spot. Me, I'm playing Control Dash. I think I have good chances to top 8 every single tournament I play it at. Just because I know, like, unless it is like 90% Fi, I can have a game against most other decks in the format. So I still think Dash is a good shot for week 2. Just I do think it does step down a little bit. Dorinthia, I still think this is in 1 tricks right now. It is very, very close to the top 8, but I just think the representation is not there to where I can put it there. But primarily, you see people who've been playing Dorinthia for a long time. You rarely will see a new hero, not new hero, a newer pilot of the deck being like, yeah, I've been playing for a year, but I just picked up Dorinthia for this tournament. You'll hear the people saying like, yeah, I've been playing Dorinthia since Monarch, or I've been playing since Tails. Like, that's usually stuff you hear, or I've been playing Dorinthia for 2 years. I don't know why I gave that person a country accent. But it is primarily a legacy deck where this is the person's like deck they play the most often. Like, for instance, the guy in my play group that got back-to-back top 8s has only played Dorinthia. And he will not touch another hero. And I don't think he plans to touch another hero for a while. I think he might be building Bravo. But Bravo's just going to be on the side. He is going to play Dorinthia when the tournament or the game matters. He's going to play Dorinthia. So I think Dorinthia does go to 1 tricks. Fi, I mean, I don't know what I can tell you that you don't know about Fi. Like here, I'm gonna sit here. What do you want me to tell you about Fi? He's the fastest deck in the format. The format revolves around him. The whole way to beat Fi is to make him block, but you have to be able to present more damage than Fi is going to do, and you probably have to remove cards from his hand naturally. Fi is the current meta defining hero. Almost every single deck goes, alright, how do I beat Fi? Like, I think there's only one other deck that almost every deck says that against. And I do think it is Icelander, which I'll go ahead and put up here as well. These are the two decks that people actively go like, how do I beat this hero every single time? If you go against a Bra, you're like, alright, just don't let them try. If they know how to try my heroic, the game's over. If it's Dash, be like, they'll fatigue out soon. If it's Bravos, like, oh, why aren't they playing Odom? There's not a little cause for concern. There is a cause for concern every time you sit across from one of these two heroes. Because, you know, they are just fundamentally powerful enough to just say, I'm winning this game regardless of skill level, regardless of hands. The game is now over. We are just playing for giggles and shits right now. Kano goes into one tricks. I don't think if you are not a one trick, I don't think you should be playing Kano. If you're playing Kano, you should be dedicating yourself to playing Kano for a extensive period of time. Or at least if you are going playing for a tournament, you need like 3 weeks of just constant reps of Kano. And sometimes even then, I think there's so many unique scenarios in Kano. It's like, I don't think you can ever like truly master Kano. Alexander 4, best Kano player in the world. Guarantee you he's not mastered Kano. Guarantee it. He will. There is probably going to be a game that he has seen a line he has never seen. Now, can he properly do it? Oh, sure, he definitely can. But there's definitely a line he's just like, oh, yeah, I've never seen this before. And then maybe has to like think and tank for a while and really decide what he's going to do, and it's not just an obvious decision. So, if you're wanting to try out Kano, I still think you do have a good shot. Fi is obviously the most represented deck in the format. I think you do have a good Fi matchup. Just don't get turn 2 Art Award, double Art Award. Sorry, that might be what happened to me, and just die even after blocking fully. Just don't do that. I think you're fine into a lot of the aggro matchups. Into the slower matchups, you have time to set up, but you just have to really know how to pitch talk properly and kind of proc and prod at certain points to really understand like what's going on. Because if you just like blindly just go into an Odin and be like, I'm going to combo you first cycle, and the Odin's going to be like, no chance, no shot. And you're going to be in a very horrible spot because of that, because you didn't understand how to play the matchup. So understand your matchups, understand your deck, understand your lines, and you can do fine with Kano. Lexi, this one is very, very weird. So technically the way I'm going to describe Lexi, it is technically a gamble. It is technically a gamble. Because Lexi is very dependent on your build and your metagame. So currently, right, we do kind of know how to attack. We are in a very heavy ice version of the deck, trying to really like strip these like bigger decks of like their cards. And then we're trying to get multiple on-hit effects against like the aggro decks like Fi, trying to strip them of cards that way. So we know how to attack the meta. What happens if the meta just like changes? Like let's say out of complete nowhere, like Kano shows up, Bravo shows up, Azalea shows up, and Arachne shows up. Well, those aren't really the decks that we're trying to target right now. Like technically does our build change? We don't know. I do think the current list is pretty decent in all those, but we're probably going to want to change how our deck is tuned, because our deck is currently tuned to face these big heroes right here. And that is the problem. If the metagame ever changes, Lexi must also change. And Lexi can't always make the proper change fast enough. Even with that being said, I think I'm actually want to put it in top 8. I think because, with all that said, because we do know the metagame that we are attempting to attack, we know what it is right now. I think we can convert with Lexi. This is the highest I've ever put Lexi. I've never put Lexi in a very high tier, just because it is always the solution, never the problem. Lexi is never going to be like, okay, how are we going to deal with Lexi, guys? How are we going to deal with Lexi this format? It's going to be like, God, I hope no one plays Lexi into this. That's always what it is. It's a deck is scared to play Lexi because what Lexi's current strategy is good into there. But no one ever goes in the meta being like, oh man, everyone needs to look out for Lexi. It's never going to be a meta-defying hero. It is always going to be a thing attacking the meta. But I do think because, again, we know what the meta is and the build is very, very good right now, I think you can get up to top 8s. Odom, I think, rounds off the big 3 here. This is a very similar metagame that we had to pre-Nats. It's a very cold, icy winter. And then we had Fi going like, I have a jacket on. We're chilling. But yeah, I think Odom rounds up the big three here. I think if you've seen the results, I don't understand where else you would want me to put him. He has the most wins. By far. It's not close. So what? So there's nowhere else I can put him. He is just a fundamentally very, very powerful hero at what he does. And he's very consistent at what he does. He can soak a lot of damage, disrupt, and one off turn, return damage and say, alright, you no longer have tempo for the rest of this game. Not all heroes can just do that on a pivot like that. And I think that's one of the big things Odom has. And dude, at the end of the day, your Ice is like the most overtuned talent in the whole entire game. And he gets to have that. It's one of the reasons Starvo was so good. It wasn't because of the Earth and the Lightning. I mean, that was just the icing on the cake. It was just the ice. The ice was just way too powerful. I mean, he also does have Crown Seeds, don't get me wrong. There is some new builds. There's a lot of builds going out of Odom, which I also do think would affect how good you perceive the hero. There is a very defensive, like they have heart, they have healing bombs, sigils, healing bombs. Really trying to attack the Icelander matchup and somewhat the Fi matchup. If you can just go up to 50 versus Fi, they're going to actually still have a hard time killing you. Because that's just more health they have to chunk through, which they have that damage in their deck. But if you're mixing in Disruption with it, it could get a little hard. And then you have the very, very just pure fatigue phase. We'll get just a lot of block threes and say, yep, I'm just gonna block 3 cards and win as well you, and we're gonna figure this thing out together. And how long it takes for you to die, because you're not going to kill me. Then we have the very, very aggressive version that's just going like, alright, Rouse the Ancients, Hammer, alright, CNC Pommel, let's just do this thing. Let's literally play Bravo, but with good cards. Let's just play Bravo with good cards, is all that version of Odom is. It just obviously doesn't get to have the on-demand dominate. That does give Bravo some percentage points somewhere. With that being said, just play Odom. If you can play Odom, play Odom. He's good, guys. He's good. Just play him. Rhinar is fundamentally powerful. I think Rhinar is because like the Intimidate mechanic is really good. It just guarantees damage a lot of the time, which is pretty good. But because he just has discarded national card disadvantage and stuff costs a lot, so if he ever gets disrupted, things do kind of fall flat. But if you played Rhinar, I honestly don't blame you. He's a very fun hero. And against some of the top heroes like Fi, you can just be like, alright, dead in 2 turns, good game. Bolton and Katsu are going to round outside of it, gang. Bolton did get 3 wins though, so he got more than these 2. So let's go ahead and just actually, you know, let's just put this down there. Bolton did get 3 wins, Katsu did get 1 win. So they are on the board. They are getting Living Legend points, which is hopefully I can be the person to make Bolton LL. It's definitely not going to happen, but but I hate laughing so much in videos. They're good, but these 2 heroes just aren't great. I'm gonna be honest, they're not great. At least compared to the other heroes, they're gonna need a lot of help. Like if you really want Bolton to be good, tell like these 2 heroes to like go here. Like these 2 heroes go here, and this is the rest of the minigame, dude. Oh, I'm jamming Bolton, dude. But the sole fact that these 2 heroes exist kind of just sucks. Kind of not much you can do. Katsu, I think Katsu's just bad. He needs more cards. He needs some better equipment. He needs a lot. Because there's almost no scenario you can tell me that you're playing Katsu and I just can't play Fi and be better than whatever you're doing. That's just the nature. I mean, we are getting ninja cards in Outriders, hopefully, because Katsu is in the set with Benji. Maybe you also get Adult Benji. But I doubt that they don't give him at least new cards. Because if it's going to be draftable, and it's just the same cards, most of those cards don't work with Benji as well. So we're going to need to see some new cards. So hopefully we see Katsu get a little bit of love, because he is my first ever hero, and I want him to get love. So So guys, that's gonna be the tier list. You guys agree? Hopefully you should, because I'm usually right. You can see my last tier list right here, and how correct I was. So go ahead, just take all my suggestions. You know, just play these heroes. Unless if you have these heroes, that's fine. Don't play Levia. Just how about this? Any advice I can give you, don't play Levia. I would rather you show up with Chain and Prism and pretend that you're playing a different format than play Levia, because at least you'll have fun being like, whoops, I thought we were playing Living Legend format. It's just here's what we do. Bam. Now I'm on the tier list. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys like, from subscribe, comment down below you guys' feedback. Your feedback is always appreciated, and I do enjoy reading the comment section. We're on the road to 3 million subscribers, and only you guys can get me there. Make this number go up to 3 million. It's been your boy Simon from Simon TCG. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.